Welcome back, Rockstars, to some more speed building here in the Minecraft Pixelmon realm. So today we're going to go ahead and be basically revamping the entirety of our house here on the PokeSplash Pixelmon realm that we've been currently doing with our brand new Pixelmon series. So the whole reason I did this was it was just bothering me how small the house was. We were running out of space for the chest. All the chests were disorganized, and the fact that I was really upset with the Appricorn Farm not being it was a weird size, and on top of the fact that I didn't like the pattern on the ground we had created with everything else, with the blue, the red. It worked, but it also completely didn't work whatsoever. So I was really interested in mainly just getting all of this fixed up, cleared out, and so we start off with just basically tearing absolutely everything down. We wanted to get rid of the old house, and it was the first step, because as much as I did enjoy the basis of this house, we'll apply a lot of whatever we did in this house to the next house. Plus, at the same time, it didn't really help that the house was in the middle of the place without being in the middle, because of the slight OCD that I feel that I have. Once I realized that I had a 45 by 43 or 44 row, so it was just off from being a 45 by 45 square. So I'm literally sitting here trying to count this probably 3 or 4 times by placing sand, because I really just wanted to make sure I had the right number of things. And sometimes it's annoying to sit there and count 30 plus blocks in Minecraft, and it can be really difficult when you're looking for the edge of blocks. So sometimes I realize it's best to just straight up go ahead and just place the number of blocks, and then you just realize how many blocks you got rid of, and that's your number of how long it is. So it's actually really helpful that way, and saves you a lot of counting overall. But yeah, I wanted to expand the area first of all, so it was actually even on all sides. So anything I did was not going to have any weird sideway effects or whatnot if I went for a certain pattern or something. But I was definitely knowing that I wanted to keep the way the outside was. I did like how I started everything. The basis of everything that I liked was here. So the blue on the pattern on the left side there, where the Appricorn Farm is, and I did really like the red and yellow strips on the outside of it. So that was something I definitely wanted to keep overall, but I didn't want to leave it all as a direct just square basically. So I figured that we would go ahead, fill everything back in, and connect the corners around between all the red and yellow, and we could continue from there. At that point, we could actually work on how we wanted to keep the blue in stacked, because these were ultra deep space blocks, something I've never worked with before for building. So it was really interesting to see these, and I was trying to go for something with these blue ultra space blocks that I usually don't go for. I usually go for set patterns, so something that you can sit there and see the pattern. It will repeat itself. You know what's going to happen. This is what I went for, a more natural look, kind of I guess how you would build like a natural gravel pathway or something in Minecraft. It's more randomized. It doesn't look so neatly put down, but it looks very more natural, and I think it worked out really well. So I wanted to get rid of all the outlying wood I had in the sand and sandstone just sitting in here. It's actually quite annoying for the most part, but sadly I also end up needing to completely strip and take down entirely all of my Appricorn Farm. I wanted to replace the trees at a proper dividing point. So what I really wanted was the trees to have a spacing between them that I understood, so I could actually space them the best that I could, because each Appricorn tree from each Pixelmon mod has a different spacing count. Like these are the center block of the tree bark, so the logs, then they're 1 out on each side, and then that gives you basically a 3 wide tree on every direction, while some things are like 5 wide. So it's really weird, and I just wanted to keep that even. And I also knew that I wanted to keep the place of the Appricorn Farms themselves right exactly where they were, so I had to figure out how I was going to do that. I did end up coming back to the mesa a lot, because I wanted to, first of all, I needed more yellow blocks, yellow of the clay or whatnot, and then I realized that I could put the clay in the corners as more of a roundabout with the yellow, and that could really help add a bit more depth to it. Nothing fancy or whatnot, but it made it more than just a square model, you know. So I probably won't do the same thing with the red eventually, but you know, it never might change it. I did really like the white terracotta, and I thought it was going to add something different. It's a light color without being bright like the sand, and it's also not the same tone deafness. It's the same thing like yellow or red, even though they're technically all bright colors. So that was really nice. So I like the single strip outline, kind of like how we had the red on the outside of the yellow. So next up, we had to just get rid of everything that was originally there in the place of the house. So we needed to really figure out what we were going to do with that, but I wanted to get the Appricorn tree farm first, at least the basis of it. And I think the way we started with that was actually figuring out the grass and the blue ultra space blocks. See, I wanted the ultra space blocks to line up with all the corners, so that way it was a bit more symmetrical. At the same time, it looked really neat. I really enjoyed actually how these came out for the most part. Having them on both sides made it look a lot better and a lot neater, and especially really tried to go for that randomized pattern. But one thing that did make it difficult is if you see those darker blue blocks versus those brighter blue blocks from the ultra space absolutely have a lot more of a quantity to them. They were easier to mine and find than anything else, so it made it a lot easier to just get those in general for whatever reason. But at the same time, it still looked good, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Plus, once we finished up this side, we didn't really need to mine up 2 more. Now, in all fairness, I will state, and I stated this in today's video if you guys haven't checked it out, the Mega Gardevoir video that went up literally right before recording this. I'm literally recording the voiceover for this right after that video went live. This was originally supposed to go up before that, but because of I've had some sleep deprivation today, just trying to get a work schedule plus a YouTube schedule down, and it's not really been easy for me. But that is besides the point. So I probably went a little overdue on the color of blue. I mean, it is outside of lime green or neon green my favorite color, so I'm not super surprising. And if you technically, weird fact by the way, did you know that blue is actually the rarest color in all of nature? We have there's basically anything naturally blue, which is really fascinating, because the things that are naturally blue are extremely extremely dangerous. I think there's very few like bugs or insects out there with blue coating on them, and they're like extremely venomous. Yeah, it'd be venomous or poisonous. I don't remember which one it is, because technically like a snake is venomous, but a fruit could be poisonous. I think that's how it clarifies. When something can put venom inside you like a snake, I think that's venomous. And anyways, that's not the point. So I wanted to keep this up. Now, I actually struggled when I was doing this, the original outline for the house, because I knew I wanted to keep an original theme where I've been trying to advance my building a little more each time I tried to build something. So I've really been getting into using the like all of those birch pillars. They're supposed to stand on the outside, so they apply more depth to the house itself. And I went for a really like long, wide house overall. This is kind of like the ultimate Pixelmon house that I was hoping for, and I just wanted to go all out. So I had a lot of fun with the actual floor itself. I think it was a very interesting floor once we get to it. We definitely needed that. Now, I did need a lot more stone bricks because I was running out of block types. And, oh, by the way, I could not pass up the Sigilith, because Sigilith is not something I've seen spawn in the desert, so I had to make sure I captured that for the decks, because who knows when it would spawn again. But yeah, it was really interesting trying to use that. But I do enjoy that I end up using the stone bricks mixed in with the what are they called? The mushroom lights from the nether. These things, they're really nice. I think sometimes they actually feel brighter than glowstone. I don't know if they are or not, but I really like them. I thought they were neat, especially a different texture to a glowstone type light, because unlike Crazy Craft, you don't have a texture changing or a chisel to change the look of glowstone or blocks. But at the same time, it still looked out really good. I think even though we used so much blue, it was such a like it wasn't baby blue. Obviously baby blue is almost like the end of the color of the outro of my videos, and this is more like a it's not neon, but that's like a deep ocean dark blue is what we went for the ultra space. And warp forest blue is really interesting. I really enjoy it. I love the warp forest planks. It's my favorite wood in all of Minecraft in reality. But I really struggled with trying to get this frame together, because I was trying to put windows in, but it was a weird trying to keep the corners and everything in. And eventually I decided to fill in with the logs to the inside of the actual place, because I remembered that in the original house of the server, I actually had the walls covering up the pillars from the inside. So I was wondering what was going on so weirdly, and I had to test a lot of different window frames, because well, you can either put too many windows very easily in a Minecraft house, or you don't have enough very easily. So I was really trying to find that balance, and I didn't want to make everything a 2x2 or 3x3 window. So I really was enjoying the 1x2 windows. And then once I got into it, I didn't like how all the walls were just so flat blue. I needed a pattern of some sort. So I figured the dark oak, or not dark, is it dark oak? It might be just whatever. The dark oak is what I'm going to continue to call it. Planks really stood out from everything else just because of the color themselves. It worked out really well for us overall. Not too much to worry about, which made it super nice. Just a nice color for us. And I definitely wanted to continue with the cobblestone slab house. Slab roofs are some of my favorite roofs just to make overall. And the style of roof I do almost every single time is always the same. I kind of start on the edge of the outside, and I work my way up and inward to a smaller and smaller ring or platform each time. It's a really simple roof design, and it's not amazing looking, but it's definitely better than a flat roof or most regular roof builds. And it's just, I guess it's my preferred style for a roof overall. It looks really good. The only thing as a problematic with this type of roof is just the actual, let's see, the way it lights up. Trying to get proper lighting on the inside can be a bit of annoying. Sometimes you have to dump a whole bunch of extra like glowstone or something, and it doesn't always look the best when you try to do it. But overall, I think it actually came out really well, and this one was perfect. It came out extremely even for us, so that was really exciting. So now we're just gonna toss some of these blocks up there to make everything glow, and I really wanted the pattern to continue. So luckily, because of the way I designed the house, the pattern around the outside with the dark oak inside the warp forest planks worked out perfectly. If you did it symmetrically, it worked out really well. Now, I wanted to figure out how I was going to make the front door platform, and I went through a few different methods, because what I clearly wanted, something I knew, is I wanted to be able to see the Appricorn trees from inside the house, and I really decided to move the house to its current location because I wanted more space for the Appricorn trees themselves. I have just a couple more trees than I did originally, not a whole lot more, but it's also the start of a progress. I have still like 2,000 claim blocks I can use, so technically I could expand farther, and all I have to do, and it wouldn't mess up anything with my symmetry, is just expand directly in front of the house straight forward. As long as I don't go in a different direction, it will keep everything at a nice even pace for the most part. But yeah, this platform in front of the house was really annoying, because I was trying to include some of these random glazed terracotta blocks I had. I was trying to think of something else to use. I was trying not to use so many repetitive blocks, and then when I got to placing the Appricorn farms, I kept trying to count it, but it was such an odd number as well, and I realized eventually that I would have to expand the platform that was in front of the house out on one side each to line up with the secondary pillars. Otherwise, it was going to be an awkward spacing count for the trees, which was not a very fun thing to deal with in the first place, because one of the whole reasons we wanted to redo all of this in the first place was so we could have a proper spacing area for the trees themselves. And as you can clearly see, I'm still diving into the deep blue here constantly, but I think it worked really well. I love that I found a place for those two glazed terracotta. I don't remember where I got them, but they worked really well right there. And we have like 4 or 5 different blues here, and it's so very strange overall to have so many blues just sitting in one section, especially in a desert. So it's like we built like the ultimate opposite of a desert biome, you know? it's just really weird. Plus, the whole reason we built in a desert biome in the first place was specifically legendary Pokemon like Groudon. We always try to switch up where we build in Pixelmon series, because we're always looking for different legendaries, and always using different legendaries and different teammates. Like in our previous complex Pixelmon series, we were in extreme mountains. I think before that we were probably in a plains biome, you know? So it's always dependent on what we're going after, and I'm really enjoying the team that we're building in this Pixelmon world. I'm actually loving the design of it with Volcarona, Crocodile, Brionne. Brionne is not a Pokemon I was a fan of when it first came out, but over time as I learned to use it more and I just see people use it, it was actually really neat, and I always forgot that it was a fairy type when it first came out. So that was, I usually just thought, oh, it's just another plain water type. It's not like we don't have enough of those already. But yeah, it was really nice. It was also super nice if getting Espeon and Umbreon, I mean not Umbreon, Gardevoir, Mega Gardevoir up and going. Finally, it took me like 2.5 episodes to finally get Gardevoir going. So now we have 2 psychic Pokemon, which is really nice. But I absolutely was dying when I made this overall storage system, because every time I would go into it and I'm like, okay, do I have all the items? Nope, I gotta keep going back and getting more of those specific items for that chest. And then I realized there were so many subcategories, because I knew, okay, well, there's not enough Z moves, good old Mega Stones, plates, or what is it? Not plates. What's the other one? Memories that I ever fill very few times. I think the only time I filled a double chest worth of things like Mega Stones was, what series was it? It was Anubis, the original Anubis Pixelmon series. I think it was like 60 episodes long. That series was a good series. I highly recommend it. But it was just, I had so many Mega Stones. It was the only time I needed that much space. And not a lot of servers like Anubis have that often. And I haven't played on Anubis in a while, so they might even change it up so it's not as accessible. But at the same time, I was just buying them all the time off the GTS, which is the same thing I did with most Mega Stones. It's easier that way. But overall, this was pretty easy to actually get the storage set up. It was just annoying the subcategories because there were building blocks, there were wood, there was cobblestone, there was tools. Then at the same time, that includes absolutely none of the modded Pixelmon items as well. So once you got past those 4 double chests, then you had EV training items, health items, evolution items, then you had battle items, and then you also had what else? Healing items. What else were there? The level up items, so like EXP shares, rare candies, the XP candies, all that type of stuff. What the happiness training or EV training was its own chest. Resources itself, all the Minecraft and modded and non-modded resources was a pain. Appricorns and Pokeballs had their own chests as well. There was just so many separate double chests, and I was like, oh my god, how? Oh yeah, and gyms. One of the worst items I think in all of Pixelmon, the one-use gym battle items. What is it? The 25% boost fire gym, water gym, and all those. They're really, really annoying because they're one-use items, and then that's it. So that's one of the reasons I don't like them. I'm not a big fan on one-use items. If you've been on the channel for a while, you would know that. It's really, really interesting as well how many of them there are of certain ones. Like I had like 13 fire gems, and it's absolutely insane. But I didn't want to have those mixed in with the battle items because I never use them, or any of the other battle type item things like Z plates or whatnot, because it was not really in the same spot for it. So and then once we had everything kind of figured out, it worked together. I really, really enjoyed how this came out overall. Accidentally hit my microphone there. But it was really interesting, but a whole lot of fun to actually just do some simple building. Outside of Cobblemon, I don't do whole much building anymore, and even in Cobblemon, I'm running out of specific things to build, and I'm not sure what to build next. I have an idea too for Cobblemon, but hey, that is a completely different series, and I highly recommend it if you haven't checked it out already. Cobblemon is fantastic, and definitely more Pixelmon. Obviously, it's the main thing on this channel. It's one of the biggest themes, but at the same time, it's still very, very different. They have a lot of custom Pokemon skins, so I highly recommend checking it out if you guys haven't already. It's well worth the watch and well worth getting into overall. So, but yeah, once we had these chests and whatnot, it was a lot easier. Once we had everything in here, it was just the annoyance of trying to get everything in here decisively and making sure, okay, so this item has this description like a battle item, but it doesn't technically do it. Like what I think it was a sachet or a satchel was one of them. It's favored by a specific Pokemon for its aroma, but it doesn't do anything specifically in battle. So technically, it's an item you could use in battle. I don't know what a satchel does, but it wasn't a battle item, unlike something like a wide lens or a far-fetched stick or black glasses. So it's really, really, really interesting for sure. Plus, I need extra space for Pokeballs. I had to have a space for all the extra Pokeballs that I weren't going to use consistently. Things like the GS ball. I wasn't always going to use net balls or park balls. You know, they're not always fantastic. Plus, sometimes you get a built up of too many Pokeballs once you have things get up and going. So you never really know all the time. Plus, I filled up battle item chests, double chests all the time in Pixelmon series because there's just so many different battle items alone in Pixelmon. It was really different, but I did really enjoy how I came up with this system, because a lot of times I would always have basically the same organization system, but it wouldn't be nearly as nice overall. It just wouldn't work as well. But overall, I think the house actually just came out great. I think the land came out great. It was absolutely beautiful, I think, in my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. By the way, if you guys are enjoying either this video or the Mega God of War video, I highly recommend checking out both of them if you haven't checked out the other one, and hitting that like, comment, and subscribe if you guys do enjoy, because it lets me know you guys are enjoying the videos, especially these bonus videos. These speed up building videos are completely bonus. These were never planned to be a part of the channel or whatnot, but I figured, hey, it'd be fun if you guys enjoy them. Put them out every once in a while when we do a bit of a bigger building project or something, and you guys seem to really enjoy them. Especially, it allows me to relax a bit, talk about the channel more. But if you guys did enjoy, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time, Rockstars. Peace.